Hello friends, welcome to Chef Stories. My name is Mark, and we're going to review the Ingles store brand Italian sub. You can see it's branded with boar's head. Let's go ahead and weigh this sucker. 11.2 ounces. And I got the whole sub. The whole sub was $9.95, so it's twice as big as this, two of these. So, and they're the exact same size because they take out the piece of bread, cut it in half. It's the exact same size. I weighed the, I took it apart. I took the other half apart. I'm going to eat it tomorrow fishing, but I weighed the meat. 3.3 ounces. So this whole entire sub, the whole foot-long sub is 6.6 ounces of meat and 2 pieces of cheese cut in half on each side. Or 1 piece of cheese cut in half on each side. So that tells you right there, it was $9.95 for the whole sub. The Jersey Mike's Italian sub was a little bit bigger, and it was $8.95. You can look back on the video to see how much it weighed. But let's do the cross section on this. They do use 3 meats. Jersey Mike's did not use 3 meats, and they use boar's head. I got lettuce, tomato, pepperoncinis, onions, salt, pepper, and oil and vinegar and oregano. So let's cut it in half. There's the cross section right there. Let's try it out. We're going in. There's the top. There's the bottom. Taste the banana peppers, taste the oil and vinegar. Taste the cold cuts. Like I said, they use 3. It's a good sandwich. The meat, the vegetables, everything is really good. The only thing where this sandwich falls short a little bit compared to Jersey Mike's, compared to Firehouse subs, is the bread. It's borderline stale. They have a bakery there. Like, I can never understand why Ingles, and this is from Ingles grocery store, by the way. I forgot to say that. Ingles grocery store is a giant chain of grocery stores in the Southeast. Pretty much every town has one. We have 3 in our town, and our town's small. This is from Ingles. So I had to go in, do my shopping, got in line, ordered it, no problem. Lady was nice. Got my sandwich. I want to make sure I don't forget to say that. But the bread, keeping the sandwich down a little bit. And every Ingles bakery is the same. Like, they can never keep up. They used to have these great hamburger buns. They stopped making them. They just make these rolls. Everything's stale all the time. And I know because every time they have these sub rolls, every time I go to the Ingles, I always walk by them Italian. I give it a little squeeze. If it feels fresh, I'm buying it. A couple of things I want to address today is, first one is for young chefs, for restaurateurs. Something you need to be mindful of on your menu is the truth in your menu. What you have on the menu is actually what you're selling. If you're selling Iberian pork, sell Iberian pork. If you're going to promote it, people are going to seek it out. There was a scandal here, it wasn't too long ago, it was like, I think it was in October, where the South Carolina Shrimpers Association, Fishery Association, went to Charleston, South Carolina, where I apprenticed as a young man, as a young chef. And they went around to all these famous restaurants, and they basically ordered shrimp South Carolina, all these restaurants promoted wild caught shrimp. You know, South Carolina fresh wild caught shrimp. So this group got a hold of menu items and had them tested in the lab. And let's say, I'm not going to name names of the restaurant, but there were some famous ones in there. In fact, one of the most famous ones downtown Charleston. Half of them, or more than half of them, were using the farm-raised shrimp, which is not a bad product. I mean, everybody who's ever cooked has used those. But don't be bragging about wild-caught shrimp on your menu and all that. So the result of it, so they sued these restaurants and exposed them. And it was a big deal. It was in the newspapers. It's been all over my YouTube and stuff like that. And a lot of the restaurants have written dear apology letters or I didn't know kind of things. But anybody who's a shrimp connoisseur, they can tell the difference between, I can tell the difference between a farm-raised shrimp and a wild-caught shrimp in North Carolina, Florida. They just have a different texture. We have a different flavor and a different texture. Another story on that truth in menu. So I meet my mom. She got us like an Airbnb in, I think it was in Savannah, Georgia. So we're downtown Savannah, Georgia. We're walking around looking for a place to eat. Come across this bistro, a Southern bistro. And so we have a meal. I remember the food was actually very good. But so it comes down to my mom wants to get coffee, right? Waiter comes out with the French press with already made coffee in it. Like already made coffee. And then she does this big thing where she pushes her hand down on the plunger and then pours the coffee. And I was like, I said to her immediately, I wasn't even thinking, I just said, that's not a French press, it already has coffee in it. You didn't make the coffee? And she was like, they make us do that. That was pretty funny. As far as your menu goes, a lot of guys, especially with the farm to table, they have a tendency to like make a list of every single ingredient, where it comes from on your menu. So there was a restaurant in Clayton, a really good one, and they used to do this. And when I would look at their menu online, it was like there was literally a paragraph behind every single menu item. This and this farm, and it was redundant. You could see the same farm, the same pig purveyor, the same bacon, blah blah blah, all throughout the menu. And I would always think, like, what I used to do is you put a list of the farms that you deal with in the bottom of your on the bottom of your menu. Like you have these are our farms. It just makes the menu a lot cleaner and a lot more streamlined. I mean, at the end of the day, everything comes from a farm. Whether it's the farm up the street or a giant farm, it still comes from a farm. And to get, I don't know how to say this without sounding weird, but like sometimes it's a pain in the neck to deal with a local farmer. Number one, price is usually super high. It's like sometimes they want to retire off a crop of carrots, and I appreciate it. It's a gorgeous carrot. And it can be hard to get a hold of them. It is better, like if you can have a local produce company in your town that goes to like Atlanta, picks up produce, brings it back and distributes it. That's one notch above getting it from Cisco or US Foods. because U.S. Foods and Cisco, they brought this situation on themselves. Because I would get some potatoes. It was something. I don't know how long this produce sat around in the warehouse. A lot of times, you can really tell a difference. That also comes down to having a scaled down menu, not having a giant menu with it. When you see a restaurant that's got a specific veg and a specific starch for 7 or 8 items on the menu, to me, that's a nightmare. And I've worked in those kind of places. I've been guilty of that. So keep your menu streamlined. Tell the truth in your menu. You don't need to write a book. You don't need to tell a story. The story is, I'm talking about super high-end restaurants. They love to tell a story. But if you're a regular bistro, you have your little story on the menu. And that's it. Not every single dish needs to have, oh, my grandmother whispered this recipe, in my ear when she was dying and all that. You don't have to do that. Stay true to yourself. Stay true to your game. And I hope this wasn't too cringy, didn't drag out too long. But I really appreciate it. Ingles subs, except for the bread, the overall quality of the sub was better than Jersey Mike's. And that's got to do with the boar's head. But the bread kills it. It's grainy. It's not soft. It's borderline stale. They need to work on that, but otherwise a pretty good sub. I'm Mark from Chef Stories. Thank you for watching. See you on the next one.